Hey guys, this is Sam. Before we start today, I just wanted to make you aware of an incredible resource for recovery. Utah Coalition Against Pornography is putting on their yearly Help, Hope, and Healing event this upcoming Saturday, March 14th from 9 to 2:30 at the Mountain America Expo Center in Sandy, Utah. Lucky for you, you know a guy, and I can get you $10 off your ticket. Use the promo code UCAP2026 and see the link in the description. Make sure you stop by our booth and say hi. Thanks for being a part of the Unashamed, Unafraid community, and enjoy this Live Unashamed episode.
Yeah. No front number. Yeah. Yeah. Unashamed, unafraid. I'm trying to walk the walk. Truth on the mic, no shame here, just real talk. Came from the outside, never fit in. Now we tell the story and the healing begins. No front, no mask, just telling the truth. Keep it real, keep it raw, speaking straight from the booth. If you feeling like an outsider, this one's for you.
Welcome to another episode of Unashamed, Unafraid. Unashamed of sexual addiction recovery and unafraid of coming unto Christ for healing. You know what I really love?
Me.
That's what I love too.
What I was gonna say. I do love you. That's a good looking shirt, Chris. I like a shirt that
Thank
fits
you, brother,
well.
Man. Heck yeah.
You guys,
I love me some flannels, man.
yeah, you guys didn't. This was just before we started recording, but Chris has got a nice flannel shirt on today, and I literally told him I'm gonna go buy the same one. So if you want to see what it looks like, hop on our YouTube channel. He's looking really good today.
Which you guys should already be watching the YouTube channel.
So what are we talking about today, Mace?
Talking about slowing down. I was listening to
We're slowing down. Slowing down in what?
slowing down in our recovery. Talking about slowing down in our recovery. I was listening to Doug Nelson's podcast. Go check that one out. It's freaking great. And
Do you remember what episode number that is?
Nope.
Okay.
We will figure it out. Though.
we'll put it in. You guys just talked about slowing down your RPMs is the way he puts it. And I'm interested. I have tons of questions. So let's just get into it.
Sweet.
So slowing down the RPMs in recovery. Why is it important to slow down, and what does that look like?
Yeah, essentially.
Love it. Well, because I think first, like, especially when, say you get caught, right? Caught by a spouse, caught by parents, whatever that is. Then everybody's like losing their mind. They're freaking out. They're totally upset. And they're like, you got to do this. You got to do that. So in that mode that you're in now, you're like, oh my gosh, I've got to do everything.
Yeah.
I've got to do this. I got to do that. And I got to do that. And then all of a sudden you're trying to do everything at once. And it becomes so overwhelming that you stop, or that you just feel like you can't do it all. And it becomes too much, too hard, and you just kind of stop. And so slowing down is really a good way to really like pause and think, so that you can think clearly and get to that place of being like, what is next for me? That's all I just need to know. Because I can't go from acting out every single day for years and then all of a sudden I'm stopping. If you think you could do that, bullshit. Like, it just doesn't happen. I mean, you may have like one or two in the world that will do that, but it's very, 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 very rare for something like that to happen, right?
Well, I wonder if speeding through recovery in the way that you just described, Chris, is probably one of the symptoms of shame that you're feeling inside. There's external pressure, it's on you, and you feel this, you're doing things that aren't helpful because you feel the need to be perfect immediately,
right?
Recover in 1 month.
And then you're like,
12 weeks.
I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
Because I still acted out, so I'm obviously not doing enough.
Right.
And it may be that you're just doing too much and you're not doing enough of one thing that can really help you in recovery. So slowing that down, of being like, all right, I just learned like a whole bunch of tools, a whole bunch of different things that I could do. I looked up online a bunch of different ways to overcome pornography. I looked up, or I went and spoke with my therapist or my coach and got taught all these things. Now what do I do? It's like, oh, what is my next step? I just need to focus on one or two things and be like, I'm just going to focus on that for maybe the next 3 weeks or the next month or whatever that looks like, and get really good at doing that one thing.
Well, I just was thinking back to the conversation you and I had like 2 months ago where you called me and we were talking about like, what does my recovery look like?
Yeah.
Right? I'm doing everybody else's recovery. What does
Yep.
my recovery look like?
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if part of recovery, knowing what to do in recovery, knowing how to heal and what the next thing is, like Chris is talking about, is taking time to be still and getting in tune with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to slow down the RPMs.
Yeah,
Because,
because
I think I told you in that conversation, I was like, dude, you know what you need.
Yeah.
And you were like, I remember you were like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
like
I
it was
do,
clear.
man.
It was
I
clear.
do know what I
need. Totally. Yeah. And that was, I think that was a big part of why the conversation was so helpful, is because it forced me to slow down. Right? Like being able to talk to you and kind of have like a bounce back forced me to slow down and not be so in my head, which usually goes a million miles per hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you think about it too. Like if you're in the middle of the day and you act out in the middle of the day, like you're at work and you got all this temptation that comes in, and you're just like, I'm just going to hurry up, go and act out, get back to my day, rock it out.
Yeah.
You're not slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
So then later that day, you still want to act out some more because it wasn't enough. Or, the next day comes in and you're not slowing down. You're not allowing yourself to be able to process the emotion that you're actually trying to cover up in the first place. Because acting out on pornography is a way of mismanaging emotion. You're like, I'm feeling stressed. I'm feeling like worried. I'm feeling the stress of like all this stuff coming at me at work, or my life in general, like all these things that are coming at me in life, and not taking the time to just slow down and stop and be like, I need to figure this out so I can make a healthy choice.
Yeah.
Right. We talk about that in, with my clients. I'm talking about the path. Right? Pause. The very first thing when a temptation comes in is to pause.
Yeah.
To just wait a second. I don't need to do anything yet. I just need to pause for a moment. Slow down. Then you acknowledge, what is that emotion that you're going through? What are you feeling? Right? That's for the PATH acronym. Pause, acknowledge, and then set a timer. Take 2 minutes, set the timer, and just sit in the emotion and just allow yourself to feel it. Instead of being like, I just got to numb from it. I don't like what I'm feeling. I'm bored, so I need to like figure out what it is, or not figure it out. I need to not be bored. So what I normally do is I go to act out. Well, when you're feeling bored, just allow yourself to pause, then acknowledge what the emotion is around it. Take 2 minutes and just allow yourself to just sit in it. Set the timer. Like pull out your phone. Everybody's got phones that have alarms on them or that have timers on them. Set 2 minutes and be like, I'm going to sit in this and allow myself to feel it for 2 minutes. Then I can make a healthy choice, because now you're like, I actually do have a choice in this.
So I want to revisit what you were talking about before, because I heard something recently. It was like, instead of learning something new, take a moment to integrate what you have already learned. And I think I'm guilty of that, because what I love to do is listen to podcasts and books and read things and all this kind of stuff, because it makes me feel like I'm making progress in my recovery.
And how much are you implementing from all those books and podcasts and everything, right?
That was my point. And so even though my sobriety isn't changing, I'm still acting out just as much as I was before, but it makes me feel better. And so how can you deal with the fact, and sometimes I think I don't want to slow down and integrate some of those stuff because I want immediate results. I feel the shame and I feel bad when I'm like, okay, I'm doing this stuff, but it's not working. But it's like, I did it for a week, right? Like, I guess help me. Like, give me advice.
Tell me, do you guys look at YouTube and flip through and scroll through YouTube or Instagram and you just like keep scrolling?
Yeah. You
are training your brain to only allow yourself to have a maximum of 8 to 15 seconds of satisfaction. Then you're on to the next one. Right? And so you're not even letting yourself slow down. Even just your brain. You might be just sitting there chilling and doing nothing, but you're not letting your brain process what is actually happening and what's going on in your life. You just scroll because you get bored and you're just like, on to the next one. Keep going. And you're training your brain to only have these really fast increments of dopamine hits and keep going. And you're not allowing yourself to just sit in the emotion. So that's like, I would challenge you guys both. Like if you go to an office or sitting in a line, what is the first thing that you guys do when you're standing in the line?
Get my phone.
Pull up your phone.
Easy. Yeah.
So I challenge you to like, instead of pulling up your phone, just keep your hands in your pockets and just look around. I do it all the time. I'm like, nope, I don't need my phone right now. Because I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of like pulling out my phone in line or whatever, and then I feel disconnected from everything. And I'm like, I'm unaware of my circumstances around me, first of all, because I'm in my phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to be more aware of my circumstances. I want to know what's going on and see what's around me. Like, start to enjoy what is actually around me, what's going on around me.
How has the speed of your thought processes and the pace of your life changed since starting recovery and getting into a good groove with things?
Well, if you look at my life is like, for a long time, it was like super crazy.
Yeah.
Even up until June.
Yeah.
My life was like nuts because I was building my practice. I was working another full-time job, so I was working 70 hours a week. It was like nuts, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there was times where I was like, I have to make sure that I take this time this weekend or this time to be able to settle down and just allow myself to just pause and think and not numb out through Netflix or not numb out through Instagram or something like that, and just sit in my own thoughts. It's okay for us to sit in our own thoughts and be like, what's going on in here, man?
Yeah.
Like, what was my life? That's why I will talk to a lot of my clients about gratitude and using a gratitude journal. Like, that's totally an episode that we should have to do, and it's talking about gratitude and what the powers of gratitude are. But sitting in that and being like, what did I accomplish today? What am I grateful for that I did today? Because so many of us are like looking through the day going, I didn't do jack crap. No, you did stuff.
Yeah.
So it's allowed me to be able to slow myself down so that I can be with myself. I'll even hear my own heartbeat sometimes. I'm like, this is kind of weird. Right?
So I'm interested now. How does that, because we've talked about like kind of why that's good for you, but how does that translate over to recovery? What will that do in my recovery to help me stop acting out?
Because now you can actually like process emotion in a healthy way. Because you know what you're feeling. You're like allowing yourself to feel. You're starting to name emotions. So like the How We Feel app is a really good way, because then so many people are like, well, I'm angry or I'm bored or whatever. And they just generalize all emotions into like a few, like 5 or 6 general emotions, not really knowing what they're feeling. That's why I like How We Feel, because you can scroll through and like look at each emotion and be like, nope, that's not what I feel. And go to the next one and be like, oh, that's totally what I feel, because it has an explanation of it.
Yeah.
So then you can actually start to name what you're actually feeling in the emotions and be like, oh, this is interesting. What are the healthy choices I can do to help change this emotion? Because now you've allowed yourself to process it, to sit in it. And what I normally do is go and act out. And instead, I'm going to make a healthy choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's power in being still. There's power in being still. I think that's part of the recipe of boot camp.
That's exactly where I was going to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I go out in the mountains and connect with men and have solitude for the first time maybe in years, and connect with the divine, and
allow yourself to slow down.
Yeah.
To connect.
I think if you operate by correct principles, God can enter your life, right? It's like you're obedient to that principle, slowing down, taking time for Him, meditating, whatever meditating looks like, prayer, stillness. Things will change in your life.
Totally.
I think this is making me think, just like we said, I've just been doing the How We Feel for like a week. And I haven't really been even slowing down that much. But that even has just helped me to slow down just a little bit, to think about and to name a little bit more of my emotions, because it has the whole color grade thing in it. You can go through and it has a little description of how you're feeling. And I think it's hard to know what you need help with unless you know what's wrong. And I would totally generalize and just say I'm tired.
Right.
When I was growing up, like, I didn't want to talk to my parents about my emotions and stuff. So I was just like, I'm just tired.
And when you're tired, what do?
Right.
You go to sleep.
Yeah.
But when you're saying I'm tired, and then you're like, well, I'm just going to go and look at porn, or I'm going to go and check out on Netflix or YouTube or whatever.
Exactly.
You're not tired.
Yeah. So even just this last week has helped me to realize like a little bit more of what is actually happening And now I can go and I can connect with God, or I can go take a healthier choice because I know what I need to be able to, help that emotion that I'm actually feeling,
Yeah.
as opposed to I'm just tired. And it's just an off day.
Yep. And go ahead.
One of the things that I struggle with in that battle is feeling that the accomplishments that I have in life will be less because I take time for myself. That's also just another version of kind of my shame script of hustling for my worth. But when I talk to people who I consider to be really happy, they don't talk about the fastness of the pace of their lives, usually.
Right.
They talk about their families and their relationships, and they talk about beautiful moments they're having in nature. They talk about connection and brotherhood, and I don't know, I'm just thinking
Experiences
about this
with
for myself.
God.
Yeah, it's experiences where you slow down and you connect with someone, or you connect with God, or especially you connect with yourself. That's the one we leave out, I think, the most. I do anyways.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, that's why at boot camp, when we have, younger dudes like you guys come through that are under 25 and they walk away from boot camp
26, Chris.
Well,
When did you-
around that age. Dang, you're getting old, man.
You guys are all way old, dude. I'm 23. My goodness.
So like when you get these younger dudes that come in and they are finally like, they put their phone away. Like we just had an 18-year-old that came down to boot camp in Arizona, and he's like, that was so powerful for me to finally just set my phone down and not touch it for 3 days. He goes, man, it allowed me to connect with me, allowed me to connect with God in a way that I never thought I would even experience. And, and that's why those vows of silence can be so important, to just, you're slowing down and just letting yourself connect. Because think about when we pray, we're praying right before we go to work, and then we're off to work, or we pray and we go fall right to sleep, or whatever that is. We're falling asleep while we're praying, right? Whatever that looks like. We're not even giving God a time to answer.
Yep.
And we're just like, well, he doesn't answer my prayers, so I'm out. Like, I'm out on God because he doesn't answer my prayers. Are you listening? Are you paying attention to what he's actually sending you and the love notes he's giving you? Because we just sometimes we're not in a posture to receive it. Because we're not paying attention to it. We're not slowing down enough to be able to hear him or hear ourselves think of what's going on with me right now.
Yeah. So I feel like we've been saying that a lot, right? Slow down. But Chris, give us some practical ways of like how we do that.
Yeah. Finding, like I was saying, find one or maybe two things that you've learned in recovery and just focus on that. Not doing all of them all at once. Find one or two things that is like, you know what, I'm going to focus on this for the next 2 weeks or the next 3 weeks or whatever, and get really good at that, and then move on to the next thing. And then just add that into it. So if you look at conferences, if you guys ever been to like a super cool motivational conference, it's awesome, and you're like, man, I'm going to implement this and this and this, and this is like freaking amazing, and you walk away and you're like, I didn't implement shit.
Yeah.
It's because it's too much. You got to take 1 to 2 things, slow that down, 1 or 2 things, and implement that, and then add to the next one, and then add to the next one later, and then all of a sudden you're like, frick, I got sobriety, I got all sorts of things.
Yeah.
How does Doug say it? Slow down the pace?
Slow down the RPMs.
Slow down the RPMs.
And I think that can help. I think what you guys talked about on that one was just meditation and mindfulness, prayers, being outside, stuff like that.
Why do we meditate?
I think exactly what you're saying. We meditate so we can slow down, understand, connect. I think what we were talking about earlier, connecting with ourselves, connecting with others, connecting with God.
Connection with yourself.
And I think it will help us to integrate more than one thing. That helps us to slow down. Like, whoa. Like, don't get ahead of yourself.
Yep.
Focus on what I'm focusing on. I don't need to bring in all this stuff. At least that's what it would do for me, I think.
Right.
Because I totally am guilty of what you're saying. Like, I just bring in all this stuff, so.
See, in meditation, people are like, well, I'm not very good at meditating because my mind wanders.
Yeah.
Well, now that's what you're supposed to do, is all of a sudden you're like noticing your mind is wandering, and then you're bringing yourself back. And then 2 minutes later, your mind is wandering again, and you're bringing yourself back. That is exactly what meditation is designed for, to help you be self-aware of what's going on in your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the word ponder better. I like the word ponder because meditation for me, I think a lot of people get turned off by the woo-woo of meditation
Yeah.
because of the context or the connotation of that word. And I think the principle underneath that is pondering and taking time to be still. And that looks different for
I like
every
that, yeah.
person.
Love that.
You don't have to sit in a room and just be with your thoughts. That's good, but there's a lot of different ways. I think most healthy people will find themselves just being with their thoughts throughout the day. But yeah, I think that there's something to be said about that. You find ways to be still that work for you. So what's your way of being still? That's the principle. How are you going to slow down the RPMs?
That's why I like hiking so much.
Yeah.
You can't just all of a sudden imagine yourself up on the top of the peak.
Yeah.
No, it's going to take you a little bit of time to get there.
Yeah.
And you got lots of time to process emotion and think about it while you're going up.
I think the underlying thing as well with that is just that connection. Right?
Yep.
Like that stillness, that ponder. It's just connection.
Yeah.
Connection with yourself, connection with God. And that's what sometimes is hard and scary.
Yeah.
Is the connection with yourself.
Yeah.
But
Totally.
it's so important to have.
Well, guys, we want to hear from you. What are you going to do in your life to start slowing down the RPMs and taking some time to be still? Email us, Chris, Sam at unashamedunafraid.com. Email
Down for
us.
it.
What's your email?
Email me at masoncellius1@gmail.com. That's SELJAAS, the number 1 @gmail.com.
Copy me and Chris. We want to hear about it, guys. Thank you for watching another episode of Live Unashamed. Find us on social media at unashamedunafraid. You can get access to our bonus content and become an outsider on unashamedunafraid.com. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if this was helpful to you, it'll probably be helpful to someone else. So take some time right now to share it with a friend. Thanks again for watching. And until next time, continue to live unashamed.